What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father like that? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. But if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes the black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
righty. Another day, another podcast. As you see, the topic tonight is going to be about, is interracial dating really the answer? And why has it become more popular choice these days? Why are women just saying, I'm gonna find someone outside my race? Why the brothers are not stepping to these women, trying to wife them, trying to date them seriously, trying to court them? Why? So that's the question of the evening, and that's what we're going to be touching on. I am your host, DJ Black. Welcome to the Speak On It podcast, 2K24. And this is the summer edition because it's hot. Everywhere you go, it's hot. Everywhere you go. And so it is what it is. Everywhere you go, it is hot. So it's summer. So we're going to do what we do. Let's see here. Just answering some things. And okay. Alrighty. And I guess we'll begin. Interracial dating. It's a trending topic. A lot of people feel like you shouldn't date outside your race. A lot of women feel like they may as well date outside their race. You know, so it's a back and forth dilemma, I guess you should say. Me personally, my take on it is love shouldn't see a color. Love shouldn't see a color. I say go where your peace at. And you know, that's what I say. I think you should go where you're respected. And that's what I put on a post. And then, you know, some guys got mad. Let's see, to join. Yeah. But like I say, these days, you have to go where it's peace. And if your own race is not providing you that peace, seek it elsewhere. I mean, that's how I view that. I don't think you need to be in a box. I just don't feel like we need to be in a box when it comes to dating. So you lose me when you try to put us in a box.
Hey,
Nelly, what's happening with you?
what's going on?
You got it, long time. I almost didn't know you was. I was looking for the fro. I'm like, who is this?
You just said it's hot.
Yo, hey. It looked like you didn't. You shaved what, about 20 years off? With that,
I shaved 20 years off?
Yeah, you did. I didn't know who you was.
Oh, get out of here.
I say this woman finna come on here and try to chew me out.
No.
And then I saw it was you. But yeah, the interracial dating. Like I was just stating to him. First, you hadn't been on here a while. Tell who you are, what you do, and your podcast and things, and the ladies movement. Educate us right quick.
And all that. Well, yeah, and part of the reason that I disappeared for a bit and all that, and I've been more intermittent and all that is I'm Chanel Baptiste, your favorite no bullshit therapist and mental wealth coach, founder of Choosing Empowerment, a mental wealth service, providing like psychotherapy, mental wealth coaching. We educate educators, groups, whatever if you come up with it, if you got an idea for it, I'm gonna create it. just all about looking out for my marginalized and disenfranchised folks and making sure that Black and brown people get into therapy and get some healing and all that by any means necessary. Um, and I've been working on business stuff and and life be lifing and all that. So I had to kind of shift some focus and all that kind of stuff. Um, I'm still working on getting stuff together for podcasting and all that kind of stuff because the AC went out in my house again, like it did last year and stuff like that. So I had to figure that stuff out. So FTBS podcast is on the way back and all that. Um, Working on lots of stuff, just working on lots of stuff, try to get out in the community and do more things and speak more places and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I've been keeping my eye on you. I've been talking to George. Like I've been.
Ain't nothing like staying busy. Yeah, you and George. We got a pimping and sipping thing coming up in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, he told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we about to put that out there. I'm gonna get all the flyers and stuff together by the weekend, and we're gonna put it out there. See if anybody brave enough to admit to simping and pimping, and and then you're gonna break it down to what it should mean.
Right.
So we're gonna let your creativity break it down the way it should be. But alrighty, so yeah, welcome back, Chanel. It's always a pleasure when she's on here, and she actually got me straight. I seeked her therapy indirectly without her knowing it. I'm a much better person now. Because when I first met her, she'll tell you, man, I had some messed up ways, and the only reason she didn't even like me, she didn't even want to deal with me, but she said this brother really messed up, so I'm just gonna come on here and let him see how messed up he is. So I was like, why is she always on me? But it wasn't that she was on me and going against everything I was saying. She just wanted me to see a different objective, and I was caught in my ways, and I had to see that. And I was like, she's not an enemy. She's just trying to let me see that it's more than one way to view things. And so I relaxed and I got the grip of it. And so now I promote therapy because you definitely need to go. And they taught me that talking to a therapist that don't know you from Jack is better than me talking to a friend who can use everything I'm telling them against me once we fall out, or if they don't decide to talk to me. I was the one you was calling in the middle of the night when da 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 da. And I hear that so many times. I was there when he was crying when his girl left him or when his cousin died. I hear people say different things like that when I'm talking to them. They trying to remember I was there for them when they went through this. So why not, like you and Austin say, why not talk to somebody who don't know you from a can of paint? So if you guys can go out there and seek therapy, mental therapy, have mental health issues, do that. It actually helps. I'm living witness. So do that, because I never believed in it. My cousin Austin used to always go, yeah, we just left therapy and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you know what's wrong with you. She know what's wrong with her. Y'all just need to stop tripping. But it's not all the time that, because you have to realize where the issue started from. That's the difference. Yeah, we know off the surface why we're not getting along, why we're not gelling, but where did it come from? That's where therapy comes in there, and they take you back to where it started from. And then once you're able to see that, then you're able to identify who you are, the issue, and you're more straightforward with correcting it. So I strongly recommend that.
And Choosing Empowerment is taking new clients. So like choosingempowerment.com. We got 4 clinicians. If you need Espanol as well, we got a Spanish-speaking clinician. So come on with it.
So you're doing it. I give that address again slowly.
choosingempowerment.com.
choosingempowerment.com. So look it up. Topic of the night, we're going to go ahead and dive in. I'm going to be on it for a minute. I have company here from out of town, but consistency is the best thing. So I have to come on here every Wednesday night and do my thing, even if I stay an hour. But is interracial dating really the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Why has it become more popular choice today? Why is it so popular today? Why are women saying, they preferring to date a Caucasian male? This is what prompted, right?
Okay. Because women value
You know what
relationships
I'm saying?
and marriage more than black men. Let's talk. I don't agree
Yeah.
with that statement. I really don't agree with that statement on the whole.
They value the relationship. They say they value the relationship more than a black man.
I wonder
That
where that consensus really came from.
and it's been going viral. That's the trending topic. And so it got a lot of women ready to jump ship.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the passport bros, they tired of the American black woman, the American African, and what I preach to them, Chanel, and what I preach to them, and I say this on a lot of the podcasts, and then I send pictures and videos to the ones who struggle trying to find someone. You got to pay for it. I had a big argument, and then I think we touched up on it on here one time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay for it. The guy tried to tell me if I put gas in the car and I pick her up, I'm paying for it. I'm paying for sex. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm putting gas in the car because I need to get around to take care of what I need to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then if I'm going out to eat, you pay for it. Nah, I take my partners out to eat if we all together and I'm hungry and I want to stop by Chili's or something or wherever. And they're in the vehicle and they don't have money and they weren't planning on eating.
Yeah.
Now I got to put their whole bill. So I may walk out of there paying $150, $200, but I shouldn't have said, man, y'all want to get something to eat?
Right.
So I had to learn to do that with the ones who I know have money or one or two people in the car and I can do an $80 meal. That's more of I'll pay $80. Right. So I was like, no, that's me taking her where I want to go, or we choose a neutral spot to get to know each other. You're not paying for it if you're trying to get to know that person. When a guy and I are a group of promoters and I come together and we sit at a table and they want to discuss what show we finna bring into town and how much money each of us gonna need. It may be 5 of us at the table. They want to meet at a restaurant. We order, and whoever called the meeting pay for the meal that day.
Right.
And then once it's an immediate group that we all meet together, we have turns. It's your turn this time to take care of the bill.
Right.
So that doesn't mean you're paying for sex or your intentions is to have sex. My intentions is to get to know you because sex never been an issue for me. So meeting a female, I'm more interested in getting to know her than sex. And so it's many that I've talked to.
What is your agenda? If your agenda is to sleep with her, then you're gonna feel like you're paying for it. Yeah, you're gonna feel like I'm doing all this to get the panties, right? And so if your agenda is to get to know her, then you won't view it that way. So what is your perspective? What is your goal?
Right. And like I told you one time before, I was trying to get to know someone and she felt like I was moving a little too slow. So she started messing with somebody else, But that don't be my intentions because sex is, it's going to come natural. So I want to know where your head is because, Chanel, even with you, like it's a season where you're going to sit back and you say, let me find me somebody to just kick it with. Those are the ones that I take, that I would go out to eat with because I'm trying to see where your head at. Can we grow together? Will we look good together? Will we bond? Do I really care? Is this somebody I could care for? Can I take her around my family? Can I walk out with her in public and still be respected? All of those still matter to me, even though a lot of people say they don't care and it shouldn't. But I was taught image is everything.
Okay.
So it's been nice women that I liked whose reputation wasn't there, whose they didn't have a great past and everybody knew their past. And Not that anything's wrong, because all of us have a past, but it's just certain ones I didn't allow myself to, get deeply involved with because of their past.
Right, right. Oh, I think we frozen.
Ones that I really liked because my standards. And
Right.
like you said, it's okay to have standards, So I felt bad, but once you said on here, and just imagine this was like high school, college.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you said ain't nothing wrong with having standards, so just imagine I fought those demons up until you made that statement that it's okay for you to have standards. I wasn't prejudiced about it. It's just that tattoos on the neck and all over the face, and my family is more. And then Austin was like, well, I don't care what the family say. Well, I really don't. But at the same note, when I step into a building, I want them to know I'm with somebody that's respectful, somebody that's that they'll see and hold a higher stature. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm trying to please my folks. I want something where when I step up, they like, hey, he got him something nice instead of somebody with tattoos all over. I just don't care for the facial tattoos and the long side of the neck tattoos. I don't care for it, And like you said, it's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having preferences. There's nothing wrong with having standards. And you said that's one of your when the intro come on, you was talking about that. So so it's nothing really wrong with that. And like now, I don't care if I was to get back on the dating market, I don't think I'll date a woman that has a lot of kids.
Right.
Because I've had my share of raising kids at this point. You get what I'm saying? And then I just came to this realization maybe a month or so ago. I was like, I don't think I can do it. Just like you were saying, you didn't want a man with kids in your 20s. But then we understand as the older we get, everybody's going to possibly have a kid 35 and up. So when these men walking around here saying they don't want a woman with kids, that's kind of tough if you're 40 years old and she's 35 and 40. That's going to be kind of tough to find somebody without,
Exactly. And like I said before too, at my stage and age in life, like your kids have to be around the ages of my kids so that we can like get out this little kid game at the same time.
Yeah. And I was explaining, I want to say I was talking to my other co-host, James J. I was talking to Jay and Phantom, and I was like, when I did try to date years ago, I felt weird when I would be at someone else's house and they have a child the same age as mine, and that child running around and trying to sit on my lap. I started feeling very, 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 very weird and thinking that I don't really need to be here. And I would go home, So I'm like, I just couldn't, get into it. And then, and that was just kind of weird. And so I was like, it's going to be really hard if I ever had to get back on the dating scene. And then now it's not just one child. These women have 3 kids. A lot of times 3 different baby daddies, and then with the world, being the way it is now, the baby daddy still feel like he has access. And I'm not one that deals with access. I am very selfish. Like when I met my wife, the one I'm with now, and I didn't even know this, but she told me that my mom told her, oh, he's very jealous. And that's jealous from the 60s, 70s era. And so when she told her, I was like, why would mom tell her that, But they know that I don't play about my women when I call them my woman. You get what I'm saying? Because I used to just date at random. But if somebody is walking around and saying we are together and I'm bringing around the family constantly, and that's the only person that I'm talking to, they like, are you sure? Because He ain't gonna take you talking to different people and being friendly and da 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 with a bunch of friends. He very jealous, is what she said. And I didn't know my mom told her that. And every blue moon, I still hadn't questioned mom about that. But every blue moon when I wake up, it's not a month that go by that don't hit my mind. Like, why is she doing it? You know what I'm saying? You know, but they know me.
They know that they know how you feel about that, right? They know, yeah, like you said, and judging from that, the old school standard of jealousy, right, and all that. Like I want my woman to be mine, you know, and stuff like that. You know, and usually jealousy, you know, is one of several things, right? It could be an insecurity, or it could be I am concerned about your ability to do what you need to do, right? To stay committed to me. It could be history. It could be I done seen too much stuff out there. Yeah,
and that's what it is, and that's why on here a lot of times you hear me say it's not a mine is more of a getting played.
Yeah,
I could care less what they do. Just and it's hard for people to just be straight up.
Right.
But I've always been a straight up person.
Yeah.
If I'm dating somebody and I want to dip out and do my little cheating, I'm gonna say, hey, I got a wife, and you know, it is what it is. We live together. I got it out, and if you gonna roll and play your role or not. But I find that a lot of women, a lot of women are not that open. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I'm gonna say around 35, 40. They're not that open. They'll still be seeing baby daddy. They'll still be messing with John. They'll still mess with the little guy from the work that they give some every blue moon because he done paid bills and different stuff like that. They're not open. But when I met mine, I say, hey, I got a few loose ends that I need to clip before we start trying to say that we're an item. Let me kind of clip my loose ends a little bit, you know, and then at that time, I'm still making sure she is worth me clipping my ends because when I get ends, they pretty good ends. They prospects. So I was like, let me make sure she's worth clipping these ends before I go clipping ends.
Yeah.
And the interracial dating thing, I did it. I think I did it for like a year. And it was cool.
But you wasn't like opposed to it to begin with. You didn't have any belief systems that said you ain't supposed to, or from your family, did they, were there any, don't you bring a white girl home, or was there any of that going on?
What I speak a lot, and I was talking to the wife about this the other day. My family always supported me. I guess because of my situation growing up from a child, you know, and you know that. But they always supported me. So it's like when I took the DJ route, instead of going off pursuing my I'm still in my field per se of what I did in college, but I'm more dedicated to my independent promoting, my DJing and all that. And it has paid the bills. I'm living lavish. I'm good. So instead of them frowning, now one side of the family was like, you'll never make no money DJing. And I think I told you this. You'll never make no money DJing. But DJing paid for a house, college, kids, college, But like I say, that was still that 60s, 70s. And I guess back then the promoters and DJs wasn't making no money. But I was like 15 years ago is when I first started making my first $100,000 a year. And I just would throw 2 parties a month and on top of my regular DJing. And at the end of the day, they like, oh, you owe taxes. How do I owe? Oh, you actually made this one. And I was like, man, you know. So I was like, hey, I need to stop reporting everything that I'm making. But yeah, so they kind of support me. So they more like if he like it, if he love it, we like it. You know what I'm saying? Type of deal. So it was cool. The only reason I got out of that relationship, Whitney Houston had a song at the time, It's Not Right, But It's Okay. Okay. That was when I was in my little, and she didn't like the fact that on holidays I wouldn't be there, and she had a little boy, and the little boy asked him, "Where am I?"
Okay.
You know, and so she was trying to do the ultimatum thing. Either you're going to be 100% with us or not with us at all, because my son's not going to be running around here asking where you are on holidays, and you lollygagging here and there with this person, that person, you know. So, and now I respect where she was coming from, you know. But you know, back then I'm like, idiot, what is you ain't gonna be running me. And but it was a cool relationship. Now, and she wasn't no hood rat white girl.
Okay.
When I go white, I'm gonna go white. It ain't gonna be no white girl acting black. What's the purpose? That defeats the purpose, you know. And the way we met, like I said, we were at work. It was a working relationship, and her people were CPAs, you know, so they had matching excursions, black and white. You know, they was balling out of control, and she was a military person. So, you know, in the military, you bond with different people. And so we just happened to kind of bond from, you know, that the military, her being in the military, you know, and my expertise in working. And then one thing led to another, and we started dating. But the only problem I ran into, and Austin was with me, and I had a white friend guy that was with me, and she and I kind of got into it a little bit before we left the house. And I was hanging with them because they were from out of town. You know, they had came back home, and we were all just gonna hang out. And I was at a Waffle House, I think, and she knew where I was, so I guess she wanted to make sure I was with my friends or whatever, and wasn't, you know, because they are very insecure. So they just feel like, yeah, he talking to me, but I'm sure he gonna want Tiziano over there, and he just talking to me, you know. But so she came up to the Waffle House, and I got up and left my partners, you know, and I walked outside, and she and I was, you know, talking. A police drove up, a white policeman, saw me and her out there, you know, going back and forth. And he let his window down. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? And she was just looking at me. She wasn't saying nothing. And so he kept saying, I said, yes, sir, everything is good. She said, no, I'm talking to her. Is everything okay? And this and I'm in a prejudiced city.
Yes.
West Monroe right now. You can Google West Monroe. Okay, so I'm in West Monroe, Louisiana. And she wasn't saying nothing. And so, and then he turned his lights and, you know, not the blinking light, but the bright light on. And he was like, ma'am, is everything okay? And I'm like, you better, you know, need to tell him something. And she said, we're fine, officer. And he still sat there for a second and then drove off like he really wanted some drama. And so needless to say, that's what kind of killed it for me, the interracial, because I don't care for drama. I don't like drama, period. And that could have got real ugly. And like I say, Austin remembers this. It could have got real ugly. And we're talking mid-90s or something like that. It could have got real ugly. And so, and then I always bring that up when I think about Ice Cube. He had a song, and he said something was going on that's similar with the police. And he said, the bitch I was with, she wasn't saying nothing. I said, hey, yo, bitch, you better tell him something. And I was in that situation. And I was like, man, you better tell him something, you know. The cop ready to get out the car. But what he said, cuff me up, stuff me up. What Ice Cube said, they couldn't be it, so they cuffed me up. And they was ready to take me to jail, you know. He was ready to call the whole force because he thought she and I going back and forth, and she didn't say nothing. And I think after that night, I think I may have seen her maybe 3 or 4 more times, and I quickly got out of that. That wasn't my thing. So that's the kind of advantage
right.
to dating, especially a black male dating
Right.
a white
Right.
female.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It may be different the other way around, but then
Yeah.
when
And depending on the circumstances, right? Depending on the
yeah,
circumstances, because I think I prefer my black men, right? And again, I'm not one that feels like you shouldn't and all that kind of stuff. Um, I watched somebody, I can't remember who the person was, so I'm sorry for not giving credit, but like I watched something the other day on TikTok or something. This guy was talking about the difference between like preference and type, right? And he explained how if you go into a car lot and you say, I want a white Charger, this particular year, blah, 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 blah. And they say, oh, we got Chargers of every color, same year, all the features you want, but we just don't have white, right? And so if it's a preference, right, then I'll take another color. But well, I don't like white, but I like red too. It's cool, right? And all that. But when you get to like this is my type or whatever, that's all I want. If you don't got it in white, I don't want it, right?
right,
And I think that's the only issue that I have when somebody is like I'll only date outside, or I'll only date, a particular race or whatever. Or, I don't like the premise of, oh, and not that it doesn't exist, because everybody has their own reasons, right? And there are some people that are like, oh, I don't like fooling with black women because blah 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 blah. Or I don't like fooling with black men because blah, or like the post said, black men ain't invested in relationships or whatever. Which I totally feel like is a lie. That's an absolute lie. That's the people that you've been choosing. You've been
and that's
choosing.
why I say, is that the answer?
Character is what you look at. That, like, I don't think it's a matter of the race of the person as much as it is the character of the person, and whether that individual person is interested in relationships or not, right? So, and like, because love is love, right? And if I was to run into somebody outside of my race that was treating me well, I can't say that I wouldn't date them, right? I do have an issue though, like you said, with situations, right? I'm concerned about, power dynamics, because there's real power dynamics, right? And stuff like that. Am I going to be treated well everywhere I go? They got lots of racist folks still out there and all that. And who am I going to run into that, if this man is who he says he is and who I see him as, how many times he gonna have to fight, to defend my honor as a black woman or something,
Right.
And vice versa, like you said, with police stoppings, and so there's a lot, there's a lot that you have to deal with as an interracial couple.
And what I found with this, okay, is my best friends were white. Their mom was prejudiced, but they knew I came from a good background, so I had my own room at the house, and they would give us bourbon and all that. Right. But when we're hanging, every now and then, I would feel some type of way when I hear them say, "Man, that black bitch." I say, hold up. Yeah. Because I know we all cool, we hip. You know what I'm saying? They listen to the rap music, we DJ together. He made my beats and things. But I just felt some type of way, coming from Jackson State, being a 5%, having knowledge of self. And they're white Muslims. Malcolm X saw that, and that's probably and that's some of the reason for his demise and death, because he realized it was blue-eyed Muslims.
Right.
But when I heard them say that, I felt some type of way. I felt some type of way. And so when my sisters be talking about they're gonna get them a white man. And like you say, we're not talking about all, I'm just talking about the instances that I've seen, the situations I've seen. I always would think that at the end of the day, especially if their parents were from the segregated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like the ones I'm speaking of. Their mom really was despised, but her hatred was really toward black women because the father had babied a child either
Okay.
from because he was in the military,
All
and
right.
he
So
ended
it's
up
a
getting a
personal,
Vietnamese woman pregnant, and and our black woman, and she just hated black women mostly.
right.
So that was her main prejudice. But I always feel like, okay, yeah, they're gonna be like in the back of their mind, I'm
Mm-hmm.
hitting this black. You know what I'm saying?
And
Be-
I wonder.
and
I wonder. I would always wonder. You know, like how much, like, because those things are taught, right? Just like our things in our household are taught. Those things are taught. And so, if you were raised in an environment where that is norm, even if you're trying to do the right thing, even how much of the subconscious is still there, and how much do you have to fight that on a regular basis, or or even on the other side of that, do you? Because there's a difference between honoring culture, other people's culture, and fetishizing, and stuff like that. And we deal with that a lot, where people are like, "Oh, I just love black women." Do you? Like, do you love all that comes with black women? Right?
yeah, is it
And
just
stuff
you
like
love
that.
black women, or do you love black women's sex?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Do you love the fact that I speak up and speak loudly, except when I got to do it to you? Or like, so like there's these different, this is the power dynamic, right? And all that. If we get into it, court gonna take your side, because historically that's what our court system does, right? And stuff like that. And I've watched it in a lot of situations where people separate, and then there's, stuff going back and forth about kids and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And sitting in certain places and in certain courtrooms and in certain environments, then whoever's white is who's gonna get that's what we're going for. We like the preferences on this side, right? And stuff like that. So I'm always concerned about it. I'm always concerned about, you calling me a nigga behind even in your head, right? And stuff like that. Are you gonna respect the boundaries, like there's just so many differences and all that kind of stuff. And I think about young people who get in relationships that are interracial and all that. And my kids and I talked about this the other day, that if you're young and you're gonna have babies and all that. So now you have biracial babies, and some people are, look at these little cute little biracial babies. They're so cute and all that. But do you know how to take care of their hair? Are you honoring both sides of them, or depending on what environment we in, are you going to allow them to explore all parts of their cultures? And so all of those things matter. Like every last bit of those things matter. And so it's not just, I want to date a white man or whatever, or I want to date a white woman or whatever. There are all these things that come with that. Now, don't get me wrong; those things do come with dating within your race, and because people are different, right? But adding a cultural difference is big, right? I had a couple that was not only biracial, but they were like bi continents, and all that. And so, and the different cultural stuff from their own countries and stuff like that, like played so much into not a, plus their traumas, right? And all that, but just culturally speaking, like they didn't mesh well.
Okay.
They didn't mesh well, and so there were lots of huge cultural differences that, that interfered with a lot of how they were operating and stuff like that. So there's so many things to consider. I'm not saying don't do it, because love is love. If you find somebody that's going to take care of you, look out for you, listen to you, love you unconditionally, see you, hear you, be a safe space, go for it. But I think there's a lot more to be bargained with when you're dating outside of your race, though.
I have a brother, and the last two women that he was involved with, and the one he's with now that he ended up marrying, are Caucasian women. Yeah. Okay, but he had a hard time with dating women of color.
Yeah.
Okay. He couldn't take the ones that he was going behind, the attitudes, how they talk to him. And like you say, it's more of the character. So you allow that. Like I say so many times, you hear me on the podcast and even on the intro, I usually say the old intro, I say women do what you allow them to do. Same as men. So if you're allowing these women to talk to you this way, to tell you can't tell them nothing, then that means you need to leave that type of woman alone and go somewhere else. I wouldn't necessarily jump the race or the culture.
Right.
I just know that I need to go and fish in another pond. And that's what I preach so much. I'm like, these guys are struggling. Like, the wife ended up seeing a video that I had in the phone, and it's how a black woman was dressed, just like I did with the heavyset woman that was wearing the two little clothes that I had to go on different platforms and explain that I wasn't fat shaming. I was just showing the clothing that she was wearing was inappropriate to be at Kroger, walking around like that with her butt cheeks out.
It wasn't about her size per se. It was about what she had on.
Right. So it wasn't her size; it was what she was wearing. And that way, if she was a size 5, would that have been a problem? Yeah. If it's a size 5 and she wearing a size 2 and her butt cheeks out, yes, it'll still be a problem because she walking around inappropriate, showing her butt cheeks. And Kroger is just not the place to do that. Put on a cardigan or something and walk through the store. Then when you get out the store and you get in your vehicle, fine. You in the parking lot, fine. But you're walking around the store and everybody in there, whether they want to look or not, she had 4-year-old little boys looking at her. She had 80-year-old men pushing their bucket, turning around, looking at her. I mean, she just caught the, and she was a heavy set woman with wearing what she was wearing. So I often send Phantom are different friends of mine, George, and people that's struggling in the dating world, and they like, man, these women something else, It's who you choosing. So in the video, she had on a 2 little skirt. She was hippie. She had some butt. She had short hair, and she had to pull her little mini skirt down as she walked through Walmart. And so the deal that I was making, if you step up to a woman like that because it tinkled you or made your little Peter get a little, stand up a little, she is bound to ask you to pay her to lay down, because that type of woman probably has 3 or 4 kids, whatever kids, and she's going to want to get paid if she spend time with you because she has mouths to feed and she's probably not working a normal corporate or whatever, a normal job. And so, of course, her hand is going to be out. If we lay, you're going to have to pay this bill, that bill, or pay her up front because school about to start and these kids need school clothes, school shoes, and school supplies. So you have to be mindful of who you step to. Like I was telling George on the last podcast, I was telling him that it's that woman working at churches. It's that woman working at Subway fixing your sandwich with her hair back, trying to make this money to pay her bills by herself. Her nails not done. She's not walking around with weave down to the ass. She's not looking like Megan Thee Stallion. This woman is in there flipping that toasting that Subway bread. She's back there dropping them fries at KFC. Those are the ones that you approach if you're not looking for that drama. But if you see that woman walking and her nails done to a T, she got that $300 to $400 weave in her head, and she walking around in heels with a purse. Yeah, she looking good. Yes, she's eye-catching. But if you step to her, number one, her mind, and when she looking like that, a woman's mind is set on a different type of mindset. Now, if you catch her in Kroger, Walmart, or somewhere shopping, and she just got on maybe if not a bonnet, she just got her hair pushed back, and she just mainly going to go get groceries for the house.
Mm-hmm.
She's more approachable then because she's down to earth. She's herself. But when you catch that woman made up, she done got her hair did, her nails done, she got them lashes done, she done got them eyebrows done, she got that ombre on them nails, and then you call yourself just gonna say, hey, let me get your name and number. Her mind is already set on the type of guy she's trying to get. You know what I'm saying? She ain't looking for nobody
and as much
not
as
in
I
that
hate
radar.
I hate that there's a character, there's a type. There is a look, right? And all that. Because even as a female, I look at certain women and I'm like, I can tell what stage of life. I can tell, what a mind is and all that. You might find somebody that has all the goods happening that might not. But in that case, and if you want to approach. But in that case, then listen to what's coming out of her mouth.
Exactly.
Right?
No one's going. So they like, man, you just don't know.
So, right?
You just don't know. You don't get it.
You better tell when somebody opens their mouth what they mind.
And like I said on a previous podcast that you was on, and I'm thinking Phantom was just one of the last ones he was on.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you should know who to step to and who not.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why Austin and I had better ratio of getting who we want compared to a lot of the other people, because we knew who to approach. Mm-hmm. We knew what our type was. If she blown out the water and thinking she this and that, we let them come to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you ignore them, they like, you ain't never say nothing to me. I was like, well, you had enough little admirers, so we just let you have your admirers. Because we didn't. Because when we walked in the party, they knew we were there. But it's just certain ones. If you just think you over the top, we didn't say nothing to you. And then by the end of the night, or a few other parties, then they'll step to us. You never said nothing to me.
Right.
Well, you had a lot of admirers, and I didn't want to get in the mix with what you had going on. Right. So I just have to explain to them that it's knowing who and when and what to approach.
Right.
And that increase that. But what they get mixed up a lot, I think a lot of guys get mixed up is, I want what I see on TV. Okay.
I think so too. And we talk about that with social media stuff all the time too. It's like, we get inundated and mesmerized and programmed by what we see on TV as what is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every race, every creed, every like there are people full of bullshit in every race, and there are great people in every race, right? And stuff. So you cannot categorize based upon, again, characteristics of a human being and all that based upon, race. Oh, black women are this, white women are this. Are there some things that our culture, because we're not a monolith, but there are certain things within our cultures that do create some likeness, right? We can't say for the most part, most black women might be blah, 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 blah. Might be, right? Could be, likely, and all that. But there's never an all or nothing, right? There's a spectrum. It's always in between and all that. You need to figure out what you are truly looking for, because I think that's another issue with people is not knowing what they are looking for, and know how to get it, and all that. All right, Clay, let's pay to play. You break it down. We just talked about that a little bit earlier.
I ain't paying to play, dog.
Do you?
I agree with a lot of stuff you say, Mr. Third Kill, because you had facts.
No,
I agree with a lot of stuff. But
maybe he right though, because we talking about playing. Just like earlier, we said, what are you looking for?
When you talk about the one with the nails and hair done, that's probably why when he posted that.
You do have to pay if that's all you're looking for. But if you're looking for commitment, if you're looking for your wifey, if you're looking for, a forever partner, then you don't have to pay for that.
I've never been a firm believer. I never had to pay nobody. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and the turn off to me when I do meet somebody and we trying to hang, and like I say, a lot of my experiences came from the club. He's saying you on point. And now look, and now he trying to hit on Shanae. Okay, but she's taking my G, my guy. But
people.
but a lot of my things was based on women that I saw in the club. So
right.
If I was to give them a ride home, they've been, jocking, they up at the DJ booth, they sitting up there or whatever. And I give them that ride home at the end of the night, 3:00 in the morning. And I'm over there, hanging out. I ain't got nothing to do. And I was like, I'm gonna kick it over here to about 4:30. I'm gonna give them an hour. Mm-hmm. And then when they say the girls pop up, okay. Mm-hmm. Now if the girls pop up, and she says, hey, hit up one of your boys to get us a 3.5. They want something to smoke. Mm-hmm. And then she in the living room or whatever, outside hanging with them smoking, and I gotta just stand on the car and lean back on the car and all that. Those are not the ones that I know right then when I leave, I'm not coming back. You get what I'm saying? Because that's where those are the ones that's trying to put you in this box. And see, my thing be, and I explain to them, they look at our background. If you got a decent background, you came from a little paper, your folks had a little money, they don't want you to see that one night stand side of them. So they'll string you along. Yeah. But the guy who comes from nothing, who hustling, getting weed from the plug and buying Jordans from his baby mama's paychecks, mm-hmm. They come straight home and go in the back room. Then when they get through doing that, then they order the 3.5. Then she hang outside with her friends. They all smoke, and he leave when he ready because he already took care of business. Right. But they don't want you to know that they're like that. So I have to stop in the living room and then go back outside with the friends and try to mingle with them. And with me being antisocial, mm-hmm. that was a problem for me. So I'm like, this is not what I'm about to do. Because I'm sitting around here because DJ Black, when he turned up in the club, is one thing, but after that club over, I turned back to Clark Kent. Right. I'm Clark Kent, so I'm sitting here and I'm seeing everything. I'm noticing everything. So I'm like, man, this ain't for me. So that burnt me out on club women. And so I said, okay, I cannot date a club hopper. A woman who goes to the club is not my type. Right. I have a type, and it's not a club woman. Mm-hmm. And so that's when you fall into the simps and all that, because like he said, you pay before you pay. If he like them, he want to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not one that's gonna do that. And then and when you like a local celebrity and you antisocial, so that means these people don't really know you. They know of you. They go to your parties. They know you crunk. They know you hype. But after that party, and I unhook my equipment and I go home, they don't see me no more. I'm not hanging in the parking lot. I'm not hanging at the car wash. They do not see me. So now I go to the hood. Right. And I'm hanging out in the hood. Mm-hmm. I know a few of the people from the club that know turned up DJ Black. Right. And now I got to sit out here and all these people coming around. What's up, black man? What's that? And I'm looking at these guys like, I don't really know you. I don't know what they finna plot on. I don't know nothing. Mm-hmm. And so that just wasn't my thing. Right. And so like you brought up earlier about the interracial, and I didn't think about that until you said it. Even though we're alike, we're so different. Right. And I didn't see it like that. I just figured they just a different color. But then when you start breaking down the culture, you get what I'm saying? So that's what, and people, that's why I say the therapy, I come on here, especially when she's here, George, and even Austin, I learn a lot because things I never thought about, they bring out. Right. I never looked at, we are really different. It's more than just color.
It's when we talk culture, we talk about experiences and all that. My director of operations, Maddie, like she's a white girl, and we embrace each other's differences, but we teach each other about each other's culture, and we're able to,
Yeah,
talk
you
about
had
it.
her on here one time, I
Yeah,
think.
she was on here, yeah.
Where she at?
And she will. I am direct with her. If she had a Karen moment once, and I told her about it, but I was able to explain to her why that thing was a Karen moment, and so it gave her some enlightenment because she didn't think about it in that way because she don't live the same experience that I do, right?
B-Boy Ice, can you hear me?
Yeah, you
Right.
good.
Exactly.
We have Cootie on the line. Hey, and Cootie, Chanel, he only date white.
No,
You
that's
only
a
So
date
lie.
white?
if you
That's a
can,
lie.
No,
can you
That's a
no.
lie.
call your friend and see if she can join us real quick? Is she busy? Can you reach out to her right quick?
No, hey, that's a lie. But no, but I
No,
like
no,
her
no.
views.
I see, because I wouldn't mind hearing her
Her
thoughts on that.
perspective.
I just thought about. I should have hit you up early to try to get her on here.
Well, there's a big difference between the black and white, and
Yeah.
And
you know,
see,
I,
this is someone who was in the relationship. So
Okay.
break it down,
Break
Cootie,
it down.
because
you know what I mean.
that's
Like I
all
said,
I ever seen him with.
Okay.
what everybody, that's what I'm known for, of course.
Okay.
But I tried to come back home a couple of years ago, back to my sisters, and it was just totally different
Okay.
because, like I said, I dated, outside my race for years because, like I said, my dad put me in an all white school, so that's
Okay.
all I was around.
Yeah.
And so,
I was
like I
gonna mention
said,
that.
it's like the white women do whatever to uplift a man and support him, and they do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
even financially, sexually, just whatever, you know what I mean? But when I came back home, it's like the sisters feel as though whatever they did, it had to be a reward.
Okay.
Instead of doing it for the
So,
man, they're like, okay, if I do this, then what I'm gonna get out of this? You know what I mean?
okay.
Or
Okay.
if you ain't got no ring on it, I ain't gonna do this. Or um, it just totally different. But um, that's why I chose to just be by myself and just enjoy life. But yeah, but the sisters, I guess I see so many athletes going to the white women because, like I said, you got to pay to play. Like I said, my cousin Charles going through the same crap right now. That's why I tried to add him on here, and he pretty much just like, man, I give up. I just give up on women.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't trying to put my cousin Charles facts and business out there, but he
Business out
just,
there.
he just been through a
Then he
lot.
said his full name.
That
Boy,
nigga
you
go, hey, that
I
boy
ain't
gonna
trying to
kill
tell
me.
her,
He gonna
but here
kill
go
me.
his social security number.
Hey,
But
Ice,
yeah,
he gonna kill me.
but we
And
know
that's
we know he been through
understandable
some
though.
things.
Oh
He
yeah,
been through some things, and the things he's been through, I don't see him marrying anymore.
Mm-hmm.
no,
He'll date, but I think that marriage and that because he was always a settled kind of, when he with somebody.
he with
Nard and
somebody.
I
Yeah,
Cuda
he's not like
and
that, right?
Cootie,
Absolutely.
we kind of played the field.
You
Okay.
It
damn
was like
right.
whatever, whatever. We had 3 and 4 at the same time.
We was
But
dogs. Be honest,
Saxon,
we were dogs.
yeah, we were dogs. Saxon wasn't like that. He
He wasn't like
when
that.
he
That's
get
true.
one,
Mm-hmm.
that's who he wanted.
That'll what it is.
Right,
And when he got fresh out of high school, he was trying to be in a relationship. He wanted marriage. He wanted all this stuff. And
Okay.
he
absolutely.
and his choice of women, I think it was his choice of women, Cootie.
Yeah.
Because he's a good guy. He just
Damn,
chose
damn good guy. You can't
more of
you
the
wouldn't beat.
ghetto kind of
Okay.
women.
Was that his
Right,
environment? Because Kuda, you even mentioned like, and I was gonna mention that too, like that some of the dynamics of who we date is based upon environment, or
absolutely.
the availability, right? The
Right,
numbers are what the numbers are. Women
right,
outnumber men, and so what are the choices, right? And
right,
stuff like that. So that is a factor. That is a real factor. And
right,
so, if Cuz is only around mostly ghetto women, then he feel like that's the pool, right?
right.
But I also think that interracial dating has increased and been more prevalent also Because we got access. There's so
Right.
much more access. We used to have to be in our own little black schools, or we're in our own little black neighborhoods, or like, so we was limited to just our immediate environment. And now we got the whole damn internet. You know what I'm
Damn
saying?
right. You must got
Ain't
to leave the
somebody in
house to
London
get
if you want
nobody.
to, you
Right.
know, and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. So just access alone changes things.
Right.
If I don't
But I
have
love my
any other
sisters. Now,
choice,
don't get me wrong. I love my sisters.
yeah,
And like I
I
said,
appreciate
I
that.
love. There's a difference. Like I said, the sisters age like wine. We all know white people. They when they get older, they age quicker. You know what I mean? We all
Mhm.
know that. You know what I mean? Well, black women age gracefully.
Right, right,
And but I think they just need to learn how to value a man
yeah.
better.
It's hard to value a man when you don't value yourself,
Is absolutely
right? And I
right.
think that's
Absolutely
that's what, as black women, we struggle a lot with our own self value.
right.
And likely, it came from our parents and our father, who was the first man in our life, and so we don't know how to do that. Which is why I invite people to therapy to help figure that thing out.
Right.
Because there's a lot of healing that needs to take place in order for you to respect your man in the way that he needs to be respected. And if you don't know how, if you've never seen it, you never experienced it, your mom ain't teach you how, then you don't
Right.
know. You
And see,
don't know.
that's
You
the
gotta
thing. A lot of, I guess, in my era, our mother didn't teach our siblings on how to become wives.
Mhm,
And I think
mhm,
that's why so many fail marriages today because they're not like how the old school. Old school women was taught. You know, but
mhm.
these new Gen X, it's our generation, our age group. They weren't really taught on how to be wives and whatever.
I think it
So
wound
our
up
grand,
not being beneficial to be a wife, so I don't think it was taught. And we watched, because like I talk about my grandmother all the time, because me and Papa was together and until death did them part, right?
yeah, but
And
Papa was
Papa
something
did some
else.
mess on the street. He did some
Papa,
stuff on the
Papa well,
street,
my papa was something else,
Right,
and my mother and them saw what their mother went through, so they
right,
like we ain't gonna
exactly. And
take that shit
right.
from no man,
They're like,
and
I'm
they
not
just
doing
still
that.
right.
Right,
There you go,
And,
there you go.
and again, we're talking availability of resources and all that. If I live in a house with a man and I don't work and there's nothing in the workforce for me, and this is how society works for us at this
Right,
point in time, then I
right,
stay with that man because he's my bread and butter. I can't
right,
work, I can't drive, I can't, and so me walking out looks crazy,
right,
and stuff like that. So resources have changed, and women in the workforce, and
right.
and so those
Bingo,
dynamics have changed
bingo,
too,
bingo.
right?
A woman don't really need a man today, and in today's time, the women are making more money than the men.
Right.
It's
But
a
the
Yeah.
difference
difference is, yeah, they don't need a man.
No, they
But
don't.
the white
Financially,
woman, the
financially.
white women are
Fine.
not out there boasting that they don't need one.
That's
It's
good.
like
That's true. That's fact.
our
That's fact.
women are so glad to say, I make my own money.
Own money.
I
I don't
don't
need
need
you,
you.
nigga.
They so quick to say that.
Right, right,
Whereas if that white woman or that uh Asian, they're just gonna be them. They make their money. A lot of them are raised to be wise, like he said.
Right.
So
Yeah.
even though they're thinking that, they know to keep that in their head because in their culture, they are taught, especially the Asians, that
absolutely.
that man is king of the castle,
King of the castle.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
and they're gonna respect him. So whether they're making 150,000 a year, whether they have 5 doctrines, it don't matter. That man can be making 80,000 a year, 50,000 a year. They're gonna submit to him and all that. And our women, and like you were saying, it's how they were raised in the environment
Right.
where they just feel so good to boast that
Hmm.
I'm making this. Like I
Right,
would say that the girl who finally gets her apartment, she gets a job and she gets a car. She
Hmm.
goes on social media and show her keys to her apartment. I got my apartment, I got my own car, I got a job. I don't need none of y'all. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm like, you just doing what you're supposed to do to be a successful civilian in the world. That's nothing special.
But I feel
You
like
know,
that comes from not being able to, because we already know black women are the most disenfranchised folks and the most hated, right? And that's by everybody, right? We seem to be the most threatening to everybody for whatever reason, right? And all that, and we have not been allowed for so long to say, I know how to do this. Yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Right. And then a history of dealing with men, and mostly, and I definitely with all my heart feel like it's systemic, right? The era where welfare was king and men
yeah.
couldn't live in a house and all that, that created a mindset and a mentality and all that. And black men trying to get jobs that can't get none, so they can't take care of their families, and so it created a dynamic that I can't depend on and I can't trust the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no particular fault of his own, but if you work, if you know, and we talked about this before too, if you see yourself as a provider and I know this is what I'm supposed to do, but I can't provide, then I'm shamed, and then I lose some of myself, right, as a man. And so then I can't do what I need to do and be there for that woman. And so now this woman got this mentality that she not thinking systemically. We just figuring out the systemic thing, right? And all that. You thinking he just ain't doing nothing. He ain't trying. He just ain't trying. Ain't shit nigga, right? When he's not.
Right.
He's a victim
Right.
of the system, right? But we didn't see it as that as a whole. Now we can look back and see it, but now we got to heal the thing that got broken in that part, right? So now I done watched, the women in my family. I done watched that myself go through all these men who have developed. Some of them have developed a lazy mentality because they gave up, or they are men that just don't take care of their kids and don't do the right thing and all that. So now I need to announce I don't need you, because that's what women were pretty much raised for, to get married. Whether they teach us how to be wives or not, we still have this culture and mentality and programming that our goal is to get married. But that's only one. That could be one of your goals, right? And all that. But we're made for more than that, right? We're made for more than having children. We got hopes and dreams and aspirations, but historically we have not been allowed to pursue those things. So now that we have, now that we have, and all that, now we're like, look at what I did.
Hey, damn a man.
And shit like that. Yeah, damn a man if I've been trained to depend on one and none stepped up.
And now all these gadgets like
and
roses,
like you said,
all these
none
gadgets,
stepped up.
roses, and all that stuff. They coming up with so many toys now. Hey, they don't need them in a sexual way either.
First of all, don't sleep on the toys, but at the same time, there's nothing like the real.
Right, you damn right.
Hey, Cootie. When they say that on here, this is my famous line. Yeah, you're using that rose, but that rose can't grab that hair and spank that ass. It can't do that. It can't do that.
Right?
It's a difference.
Only do so much, right?
You can only do so much.
But and going back to what Cootie said about our partner, and this falls back on our ex co-hosts and everybody. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, social media got a lot of men afraid to approach the sisters. Mm-hmm. And they're not approaching the sisters. So that's why the sisters like, I might as well go elsewhere. Yeah. And this is what this lady is saying right here. Peep this.
Okay. I speak for most Black women when I say we would prefer to date a man of our own race. But here's the thing. They are not looking to date us majority of the time. When I'm out in public, Black men are not approaching me. They're not trying to date me. They're not trying to get my number. And in my life, the worst I've ever been treated was by a Black man. When I'm on dating apps, Black men are not looking to match with me. They're not swiping on me. So what am I supposed to do? The only other option is to give Billy with the pickup truck who wants to take me fishing a chance, because what else is a girl supposed to do?
So they're not stepping up. And you just said Charles is about to give up. I got another partner that used to be my co-host. he's about to give up. It's like social media is really, really, really destroying the black woman, especially the Gen X. It's destroying them. The cancel
Sexy Red and
culture.
them ain't helping either. They ain't helping it either.
Which one?
Sexy Red and all them.
Right.
Again, like you're looking at a particular persona, and even for them, like that's likely a media persona. That might not be who they are, right? But it gets likes and it gets hits, and and all that kind of stuff. It helps them sell whatever they're trying to sell and all that. But like that is not who all of us are.
Right.
I have that issue too. Like everybody don't know I'm involved. I have a long distance relationship. People don't approach me. They don't. They just don't, and I don't know.
And I hear that a lot. Men just don't. Okay, the era Cootie and I came from. If we see something we like, we gonna say something. But the new generation, they don't say nothing to y'all. They'll sit there and look and look and look. And the only time they say something, no Cootie, and I know you notice this too. When they see one of us go over there and we talk to, as soon as we leave, now he go the other three guys with their little towels around their hand. Now they want to go up and say, yeah, what's up?
Make sure we ain't gonna go off or whatever.
Yeah, with their little Jordans on and their little white tees. And they, hey, what's up? What's that? What's up? I seen you talking to Black. That's your man. And now they go trying to get a conversation.
Right.
But they not quick to step up. They'll see you all day. And I'm sure, Chanel, you've been in a place where, especially now that you're branching out, doing your little business thing, men will stare at you. They'll look at you all day, but won't say nothing.
Don't talk to me at all.
And he is single as you don't see no ring on his finger. He's single as a $1 bill. He won't say nothing, but he'll stare you down and he'll speak and just stare you down, but he ain't gonna say nothing.
And I know we tough. I know we're loud. I know, there are lots of dynamics about us that, might not be viewed as attractive and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot, but for me, that's like, are you intimidated by that? Because I am also all of those things, but I don't act crazy with my man.
Right. It's a time and a place for that.
There's a level of respect that he gives and shows to me that I don't deem that as necessary. Those actions are defense mechanisms. Those actions are protection. If you can approach me and I say something to you that might not be cool or whatever, are you interested in what's behind that? Because this is our first meeting, and I don't know you. And I'm trying to repel assholes, and stuff like that. So if I say something that is my asshole repellent, but you're not an asshole, then you keep talking to figure out what else do you need to say to get in there if you're interested, right? If I can say two things and it turns you off and you walk down the street, now don't get me wrong, I ain't talking about like, man, fuck you, bro. Like, because that's
right.
That's straight up disrespectful. I wouldn't talk to her either, But like, what do you see that's beyond all the other?
But this is a good topic, though. I just had to chime in on it, and everything, and but I keep doing your thing, but you're doing positive things out here, man. I wish more people tuned in, though.
No, they usually catch the aftermath because I'll be on pretty late, so they inbox me. They always watch it in the mornings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
You coming on and giving your perspective though, because that's important. It's important to hear.
Yeah, I needed to hear that because I noticed all I ever seen you with was white girls, white women.
Yeah, but I came back home. To the sisters, and I'm like, damn.
But you gave your effort. Like you say, you love us, but like if you at the end of the day, you have to be with someone who treats you well.
Treat me right. I don't care about color or what color. I just worry about your views on God and how you handle your business.
Right.
Because I'm
so your case, which I'm glad you cleared it up. Your case wasn't that you were intimidated by the black woman. It was your environment because you was at those white schools.
Right.
And he was an athlete and all that good stuff.
And it's not like you didn't attempt and try either.
Right.
and
Right.
all that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering. I was like, every time I look up, all his baby mama's white. I'm like,
All of
whoa, you know. And then he goes on there and he shows his little social media with different white women that he with. I'm like, this dude ain't been nothing around white. So I thought, because I think my brother is more uh, intimidated
Mm-hmm.
by the black woman, how she talk, how she act.
hmm
So he don't want to put up with none of that because he just want peace of mind. He kind of laid back and
Right.
he chill. So he don't want to deal with the mouth and the lip and the talking back and the attitude. So he always ran toward the white women.
Right.
Right. Well,
He married
it's
to
totally
one now.
different. Like for where we came from, like in the city, the sisters in the city, they got money
Mm-hmm.
and they got better jobs and they got better opportunities. But in our small town,
Mm-hmm.
they think that if a woman think you got a good job or got something, they gonna
Yeah.
cling on to that and expecting something.
Right.
And like I said, the women are different within the cities because
Yeah.
I'm in San Antonio. You got a lot of sisters here with money, and they looking for a
Oh
good
yeah.
man to build with. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
So I guess it's just again your environment, and
Yeah.
in our hometown, there's really no jobs. There is a poor, the
Right.
crime rate. There's nothing
So,
there.
yeah. Yeah. There's nothing there.
So I mean, 'cause if you back in the days, if you worked at International Paper, you pretty much could have every woman in the city.
Right.
Because they know that man there getting that bag,
Yeah.
and that mill that destroyed a lot of homes and everything because
Right.
the men making good money and the women wanted that.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't care if he had a wife at home. They just wanted that bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
They played that side role real good.
right.
And let me ask you this. Um, being that you in the city now, you meeting the women that's making money. Do you think if you were to settle down and possibly do the walk down the aisle thing, would it be a sister? Or are you gonna stay over with what you know?
It just I guess wherever God bring me,
So you're open.
I'm
You're
open.
open. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Again, it's
telling one
about
of my
character.
ex. I was telling one of my ex. I was like, man, it's time. Me and her still real good friends to today. I said, I think it's time for me to go and get married and do things right because I'm getting
Mhm.
older. I ain't
Yeah.
getting no younger, and
Mhm.
it's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
now when you date, you're dating to marry, not just to have sex.
nah, that sex days is over with.
I told you because it was always there. So it's
It was
brothers
always
like
there.
us
Yeah,
who was always getting it, always, who was
right, right.
fluent with it.
If I die tomorrow, the world don't owe me no coochie.
All
We ain't
right.
messed up
I got
about it. Not messed up
That's all
about
right.
it.
Right. So I'm past that stage now. It's past that.
Yeah.
And plus, we older.
It's
I
about someone to build with, someone
build,
to
build,
grow with,
grow,
someone to
Yes.
uh,
financially,
In my
bring
spiritually,
family.
you peace.
everything. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And that's real. That's real. I just wanted to ask you that. I always
That was
wanted
a
to
good
ask you
question,
that. And
though. That
since
was a
you was
good
out
question.
here, I was like, why does he always be with him? And no, and people was afraid to ask you that. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, I
I was
know.
like, let me ask him that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. A
You
lot of
know.
women in Bashford wouldn't talk to him because we heard you don't like no, you want a white woman. I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, baby, you don't really know me. You probably missed out on a good man
Exactly.
by
And I think
believing
that's
what you're
why
hearing in the streets.
it's important to have conversations like this
Right.
because you need to know what people's agendas are. If
Right.
I'm just looking for the best person for me, then that's absolutely okay. But if I'm like anti-black, then that becomes a problem, right?
Exactly.
Because if I'm black
Exactly.
and I'm anti-black, then is that internal racism or
Exactly. Exactly.
But
So you think I'm
but
racist against my own people,
right,
and
but
women?
right,
No, hell no.
Cootie know we know people right now from that town and from Monroe, black girls, black women that only want to date a white man. She feels like, and she talks extra proper, and they only want to date so-called a white man. They don't want to give a
I,
black
I,
man
I think I
a
know what you're
chance.
talking about. I think I know what you're talking.
Exactly.
I
don't put
believe. I
your
believe you.
And
business
we
out
like she just is she darker
there.
than both of us. But
Yeah.
I only want to date, And these
I
guys,
mean, again, that's a self-hate issue.
they
Right.
run over.
That's
That
a self.
she's been ran over by the white guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the only problem, like I say, and I'm gonna play another skit after he leaves. The deal is this: I think a black man dating a white woman and a white man dating a black woman
Mm-hmm.
is two different things. I
Why you
don't
say
think
that?
it's the same.
Why
Black
you say
man,
that?
white woman, white man, black woman is two different. It's two different things. It's not the same
Why you
because
say that?
that white guy, especially, and because you hang with him just like I hung with,
Yeah, right,
who
right,
I did, who, my best friend, well,
right.
one of my top friends.
Okay.
Uh, and I hung with him and his brother. His brother was actually my roommate in college. So I know the conversations that we had. Those guys, if they grew up with the fathers in that 60s, 50s, 60s, and early 70s mentality, they kind of see black women a little bit different than we would see than a black man would see a white woman. We like he say, he goes after the white women because of how they were raised, how they treat the black man, how they lift them up, how
Right.
they support him.
Right.
There's less lip. It's like whatever you want to do. I don't think we need to do this, but if this is what you want to do, I'm gonna support you. That's how the white woman is.
Right.
Now, the black woman, if she against what you saying, she gonna talk it out. She gonna try to out talk you. She gonna be loud. She gonna be this. Now that white guy, he already feels superior. And I say, you hang with him, you play sports with him. He's stepping in that relationship like I am the man.
The man,
You
right?
are beneath me a little bit in his mental. You're a little bit beneath me, and it's a privilege for you to be talking to me because I am the man. And a lot of them thinks like that. And so it's kind of different and than a black guy accepting a white woman compared to a white man taking on a black woman. Because at the end of the day, he was groomed to be with a white woman. Whereas
Absolutely.
we, black man, we're groomed to go where we're loved and where we're respected. And so we're
Facts.
quicker to hop. We'll go to Spain. It don't matter.
Right.
We'll get a woman who can't speak English just
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
she
Right.
loves us. And I know people in relationship now that's dating these Hispanics and they don't know English at all. They say, oh, she said she have to write down and point.
Yes.
but he happy
Right.
because he respects him.
Right.
And it's like I say, it's nothing wrong with it, but I just feel like our women are not groomed anymore. When the mother had to go out and raise, number one, she has to raise these kids by herself. She got to work
Right.
2 and 3 jobs. She
Right.
don't have time to be preaching to her daughter about I'm gonna groom you up to be a wife. She's grooming that daughter up to take care of herself and
Take care
not
of
to
herself.
depend
Bingo.
on a man.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's what's destroying our black relationships as far as men wanting to date black and women wanting to date black men, because the men now are not stepping up to them because they like, I don't have time for the lip. I don't have time for the attitude.
Right.
That's where they are now. But then when you get those women who call themselves dating the white men, this is what happens. Peep this one out. Then you can go, Cootie. Peep this out.
So
I bet.
everyone is sitting up here encouraging us to date outside of our race, and to open up our options. But nobody is talking about the fact that shit is mentally and emotionally draining. I just got out of a 2-month relationship with a white man, and the way that shit took a turn, from love bombing to straight up manipulation and confirmation bias of like black woman stereotypes, bro. Like that shit is so damaging to mental health. To constantly try to be seen and understood, feeling like I have to code switch, no. And to be antagonized in the end is just insane.
And so that's why I say it's different, because
Yeah.
that man, he's the man. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
In his head, I'm the man.
I mean, because he is like that's who rule all the things. That's who got all the rights. Like the white man, the white heterosexual man has all the rights and all the things. Like he can walk about and do as he please, and and so you gonna be with a woman who the world hates, like so like yeah, I agree with her on that. Like I can't do the code switching. I can't do the pretending. So if you with me to fetishize, you're in the wrong space and place and all that. And if you the man and you the man and you walk around with that privilege, right, as a white man, then you expect to get your way. You expect to always get your way, and that's not conducive to life. Like most of us don't always get our way. We got to compromise, And again, I'm not saying every white man is like that or whatever, but just that dynamic of it's a power control dynamic to an extent. I know I'm used to getting my way or what I want, and I expect the same here. So
and that's the issue that and see Cootie. He's a chip off the old block from us. So he has his self-respect. He knows his self. He knows his worth. So he's not going to tolerate or accept anything that a woman dishes out that he don't feel like he needs to accept. He makes great money. He is his own person. He loves himself. So he's a threat to the average Black woman. So that's why they would tell him
asset enough for her to submit to, because
that's why they would tell him you just like white women, because he's not gonna tolerate or accept. That's why he said he tried to come home, but when he got that lip, baby, I don't have to take it. I know what it feels like to be loved. I know I don't need you for nothing. I know I have my worth. I'm helping you out. I can help you. I can get you in a better place. And he's all about business. He's all about teaching this woman to be independent. Yeah, you got your job over here at JP Morgan, but let me turn you on to this here, because I got this going. I drive trucks. I do this. I do that. I can have you on the side. You could be my dispatcher. I can turn you on to this and that and that. That's extra money that you're making when you're not on your job. So he knows what he brings to the table, because he's a product of us. So you think I'm arrogant? He falls from that same tip. You know what I'm saying? He there.
Going back to that video of that young lady. That remind me of that movie with Tyler Perry. When he would the white man
was it Good Deeds?
The white man was a CEO and Cartwright. His name was Cartwright or something.
Cartwright, yeah. I know which one you're talking
about. And that sister had a great husband. You know what I mean? And but she chose to go be with this white man who didn't give a shit about him.
Right.
Then his wife found out about it and checked her, and she still was in love with the white man. You know what I mean? So yeah, the white men have an arrogance when it comes to sisters.
You have to be careful with trying to get the status quo. Am I trying to date this white man?
To get that status quo, right?
Seen as accepted and all that kind of stuff, and that's not the right motivation.
Right, because she went against her family and everybody for that white meat. And I mean, she just wanted that status.
Yeah, she wanted status. That's it.
Yep, I forgot the name of that movie. It was a good movie too.
I think it's
never.
I think it's the name of it.
And it's never. The grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody is the same. Just like this. Just like right here.
That's
it's
women see all this price.
Richard Lindsay has offered to pay. What the hell?
Yeah, and she was she was so bragging on this guy when she married him, when she met him. It's so different. I'll never go back. I'll never go black. She was bragging. So now reality star Rachel Lindsay has offered to pay her ex-husband $9,882 a month in spousal support at the end of their public divorce. He declined and asked for $16K. He said he deserved to keep my same lifestyle he demands. So he taking money out of her. but they
Wow,
think it's
that's
so much
crazy.
better on the other side. At the end of the day, and then like the guy want to say, bring up the Majors dude who got took to the bank by the white woman he was married
Oh,
to, took him
Jonathan
to the
Majors.
bank.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, the same thing just happened with her.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's both ways. She married him for status and and all that. But at the end of the day, when they got divorced, since she was the breadwinner, he wants to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So he took her through the ringer. So it's not the grass is not greener when it comes to finances.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because if that black woman's successful and she up here and marry a guy and then they split up, that guy gonna want that spousal support and he's gonna
He
want to
gonna
live the
want it.
lifestyle he was living while he was with her, as he
Absolutely.
should,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
as he should.
Yeah.
But on that note, Cootie, appreciate you for coming by.
Man, thank you for having me. It was nice meeting you
Hey,
too.
Nice meeting you
it's
too,
all
Cody.
good. And hey, I know your sister lives out here. So whenever you back toward the Georgia way, get at me. You got a place to stay. You got
Most
good food
definitely.
to eat.
And
Get at
same
me.
as if you come to San Antonio. Same here.
Okay, actually,
Right
my
around the
cousin
corner from you,
Erica,
I'm right in
Erica
Austin. I'm
lives
right
in
down
San
the street.
Antonio too.
You bet down the street.
I said, I'm in Austin. I'm right down the street.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really? Oh, okay. I'm in
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, and my cousin Erica lives in San Antonio. Remember Erica
Erica.
Fielder?
Now I remember her.
Well, she's in San Antonio. Y'all about the same age, but
Oh, okay.
she in San Antonio. Just look her up. I'm sure she one of your classmates. Well, no, you like I say you left Bastrop, so
Yeah,
nah,
I
you
left
wouldn't
Bastrop,
know.
right.
Yeah, you was West Monroe, right?
No, Watchtower Christian.
Marshall Christian. That's even worse. But yeah, you was totally white. You was the black white boy.
He was the black white boy.
You
Uh-huh.
the black white boy.
I
I was
understand
your
why
Watchtower
y'all didn't
Christian.
understand why he was dating white women. He a black white boy.
Man, look, I sure didn't know.
You know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
man. Over
he
those
cleared
years,
everything up tonight. But yeah, you got
yeah,
my number and everything, man. Don't be a stranger. When you come down here to
yeah,
see Tiff, man, and then Andromeda down here too. I'm about to
yeah, right, right.
invite her and Dominique over to dinner probably in the next couple of Sundays. I'm gonna invite them over. So
Okay,
yeah, it's up, man. So when you back this way, just holler at me.
I will. Y'all have a blessed night. Okay.
All
All
right,
right. Have a good
appreciate it.
night.
Okay.
Holler back.
All right.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's crazy out there. So they think that the grass is greener. It's not greener. Now, this one made me interested in this topic.
House for black men.
Yeah, when Mr.
Oh, Dr.
Omar said
Omar.
that, Omar Johnson.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah, I know
like,
he's
who is
very
he?
anti-interracial. He's very
Yeah,
anti. Yeah.
who is he? He don't support black men who date out their race. So he talk about Asian, whatever. You just supposed to just stay black. Now,
Mm-hmm.
now my brother, not the one that's already married. Now my other brother, he married, and I brought him up once or twice on here. He had got married to a black woman, and he didn't want to be a statistic. He wanted to be the perfect little, jewel in the family. Okay, so that's the perfect jewel. Go to college, graduate, you meet your woman in college, you get married, you guys have a kid together, you marry her, and y'all just be the perfect little family. So that's what he wanted. But when he decided to marry, it didn't work. Okay, I'm talking about less than like a year. His ass was divorced. Okay, and he didn't want to be a statistic, and so it broke him. And now he's saying if he ever date seriously again, it would be an Asian.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, when you get hurt like that and broken, I understand because and listen to him and others. I often say, if I was to, because of how good I am and being in this particular relationship,
Mm-hmm.
if this was to fail
Mm-hmm.
and she's not in the street, she's not of the club, if this was to fail and I've done my all, I
Mm-hmm.
probably would feel like dating outside too.
Mm-hmm.
But like you stated tonight, it's about character.
Yeah. Who
Okay,
you?
it's about character. But what if you feel like you have that perfect character now, and it falls, and it just happens to be a black woman? So I
Right.
see what
Right.
can drive them to, well, let me
Yeah.
try good character in an Asian
Yeah.
woman. Let me see
Right.
good
And that's
character.
okay. I think that's a good. I don't think that's bad at all. As long as you are geared in the way of, I'm not, you know, using race as a reason, right, and stuff
Mm,
like that. Of course, you should be exploring all your options, like if you're willing. But what's the character of the people outside your race, right? You're looking for the character in that person. That's the key, right? So, like, yeah, absolutely. If something don't work out, open your horizons, try new things, absolutely. But to say, oh well, I'm not doing this because of this particular person's, race or whatever. Like, all people are not that, like that. Like, you're doing the very same thing that white people do to us. They stereotype, right?
yeah,
They stereotype based upon a few people or based upon certain environments and all that. Like, we come in all shapes and sizes and all kinds of attitudes, right? I know
yeah.
some very docile, not yelling, screaming, not attitude, no black women. I do. I know them, right? And stuff like that, but it just depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what you're looking for.
Want my black? Would you prefer a black man dating a white woman, or do you like when you see it? Like, would you like to see that a black man dating a white woman or a black? It's just sometimes I don't. I'm not gonna lie. Be truthful. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. When I see like those like interracial couples where it looks like the black man is just so well to do, you know the ones that you look at and know got a good job, and then he's standing next to a white woman. I'm not gonna lie. I just be like, damn, there's a sister out there that really could have used you, bro. I just.
And a lot of them feel like that. But the key word that I didn't like, she said that really could have used you, but I know she probably meant that needed that, that
That needs
could
a
have
good
did
black
you right.
man in their life. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
could
needs,
have did you right.
yeah.
That's what I think she meant.
White women. Like a lot of successful black men go for white women.
They go lighter.
But the question is, why do you think that is? Like,
white women, they cater like better, like they're more submissive than black women. Black women, they talk back. That's one thing. Like black women, we talk back. Like we don't listen. We're not as submissive as a white woman. Like
men want peace. There's a stigma of black women being like more masculine than other groups of women, not physically, but obviously how
where they wear the pants. They feel like they wear the pants.
Because it's that that combative
but that
nature.
also comes into how we're raised.
That's cool, but a guy that made it, a guy that's successful, a guy that made it and came out the hood, he not trying to argue with or have a shorty be combative with him all the time. Like, maybe he wants somebody submissive, somebody more friendly, feminine, fit.
And so that's why I think a lot of the brothers are getting the passports and they are looking into, interracial dating. And the sad part is women know this. They know why the men are not asking them out. They know why the men don't want to marry them. They know why the men are switching races, and they don't care. They're just not gonna. They're more submissive than us. They're not gonna speak up like that, And she's proud of that. That's not nothing to be proud of. To me, it's not. Just like on here. And Phantom used to tell you he couldn't hardly stand to be around me. We would take months off, maybe a year, because I was so arrogant and full of myself. And you can't do this around me. You can't say that around me. And it took me to step back and just look, and say, maybe I do need to tone it down a bit. Maybe I do need to work on changing. And it's the fact that these women know, but they looking at the videos, they looking at social media and this little skits. Let me see your phone. And Baby Boy messed it up. The Baby Boy movie also. When whatever name is, she told him she wanted to smell his penis. to make sure he didn't have sex, and how she was acting and talking. And then it started with Friday. Nah, Craig, all that, how that ghetto girl was acting. And then now women actually act like this today. They act like that today. So it took Friday and then the baby boy. And now we actually have this in Generation X. That's how they act. Nah, Craig, and all that. That's how they act.
You ain't gotta lie.
I see it all the time.
You ain't gotta lie.
Thank you. Ain't gotta lie. All that. I see it at Walmart. I see it at Kroger. I see it, So that's why I started mostly shopping at Target, because you don't see the ghetto people at Target. I don't see too many ghetto people at Target. So a lot of times when I ain't in the mood for that, because down here, I go to the ghetto Walmart because to me, I think, it's en route. So I just go that way because I got BJ's that way. I have Five and Below. It's a big shopping center over there. So I go that way because there may be other stores I want to stop. The movie theater that way. So if I want to get popcorn and bring it home with the butter, I go and do all that. The wife like going to the bougie Walmart. Now, when you get over there, we don't see people with different color hair hanging down to their butt. They don't be in pajamas. They just dress different, and they're about the same, but she thinks it's quicker going to the bougie one. But I just go to the hood. I get in the car, I go to the hood. But every now and then, let's just say I've been DJing a night or playing a bunch of hood music. I go over there to hers, the bougie one, and I'm able to walk in there. It's brighter in there. They have the brighter light. They actually have more selections to choose from. Because I guess it's that side of town, and they have to be more uppity than where I go, the other. And so I get it. It's where you go, it's what you see, it's how you grow up and all that. Because like I say, they both were like 8 miles away from the house. One may be 8.5, one may be 8.2, but they cater differently.
They do. And
so when you look at the interracial relationships and you look at how that white woman acts and our women act, and then our women know why the men are complaining about the black woman, and they still don't want to correct it. I think that's a problem.
And that's the problem. And you're right. That is the problem. Like, again, when I figured out that I was part of the problem, then I sought help to figure out how to change that dynamic. Right, because I was being disrespectful and all that. So I went to therapy. I explored, I recognized like how my mama was talking here. I didn't like how my mom was talking to me. So I definitely did not want to project that onto somebody, right? And stuff like that. It's a matter of, again, and I always say you got to look in the mirror and figure out how you need to grow in order to, get the relationships that you are interested in. Whether it be romantic or otherwise, your kids might not want to be bothered with you if you keep doing stupid stuff, So, like, if in order to have healthy relationships, then you need to get healthy. You won't be able to get what you're looking for.
Beat this one out right quick.
A female hit me up in the DM and they asked me, why is it that successful black men always date white women or Oriental women when they get some money? Well, I'm attempt to answer this the best way I know how, just by keeping it all the way 1,000. See, a lot of times when men get some money, black men to be exact, they want a woman that's going to be submissive, that's going to actually do what they say, and a woman that's going to just be there to support every decision they make. Asian women, white women are very subtle, very submissive, very easy to deal with. They haven't came up the way black women have came up. And a lot of times when you're dealing with black women, you're going to deal with some kickback. They not just going to do whatever the fuck you say just because you making the bread and butter. When a man get power and when he feels like he's on top of his game, he's on top of the world, and he got some money, you can't tell him nothing. His ego's to the roof. The white woman might deal with that type of shit because she just happy to have a black man. She feel like she got her a token nigga. So she's going to follow his lead and do whatever he says because they just happy to have a black man by their side. Black women, they've been dealing with our bullshit for years. So when we get some money and we start to act a certain type of way and be demanding, they not going to put up with that bullshit.
That's why it's always that combative type of relationship with the black man and the black woman, man. The black man been suppressed all his life. The black woman has been suppressed all her life. It's passed down to their generation and their bloodline. We don't want to feel oppressed in our relationship. Instead of him trying to figure out and deal with the black woman and communicate with her on a certain level, he say forget that and get him a white woman and keep it moving. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. It is what it is. They grown ass adults. They can do what they please.
And that's what my brother did. He said the hell with black women, and he ran instead of trying to figure out, but he was the women he had leading up to him talking to white women were the ghetto, came from nothing, had been suppressed, had to raise themselves at the age of 14, 15, got 2 kids, got to work, and don't get me wrong, she was nice. The one the 1 or 2 that ruined them, they were nice. They just was raised up hard. They were raised up hard.
Man, we have to survive, bro. Like black folks gotta survive. We're in survival mode all the time, and all that. And that dynamic he explained was like perfect, right? And all that. What should actually be happening though is that black man, like you say, both parties are oppressed, right? And all that. In my opinion, a good woman, black, white, otherwise, or whatever, is not a yes person. They're not there just to do what you say to do. That's not submission, right? Respecting your lead is submission, right?
Yeah.
But I also should be able to sit with you and say, so babe, I think this might not be the best decision. Let's talk about it, right? Because my job in this relationship is as your helpmate, as your partner, right? In this life is to help turn your head in the right direction because I got some intuition, right? Or I might have some knowledge that you can use or whatever. I'm not supposed to just say, yes, sir, and let you walk into the damn fire, and stuff like that. So like, if you still choose after we talk about it, I'm going to respect your decision, right? Because you the lead.
I was
right? And all that.
I was going to throw that on you. You know me. I was say, okay, go ahead with your go ahead and say what you need to say. But at the end of the day,
No, if you respect your mate, your wife, your lady, and all that, then she has influence. She has influence on your decision making. She has influence, and you want to know what her opinion is because she got your best interest at heart, right?
And I find myself
marrying somebody that you don't know has your best interest at heart, then you shouldn't have married them.
I find myself, and I never thought I would. The Lord knows I never thought I would. But I find myself going to her blue moon saying, hey, babe, I'm thinking about doing this, and that, and that. And then after I do that, I'm going to do this and that and that. What you think? Like, and this was my own business. And you know how I told you, I was making this money before I met you. I've been to, that was my attitude. And so this lady hit me up, wanted me to DJ. And I told her to send me the building that, the venue. And when I seen the venue, it's a kind of a big venue. So I'm going to have to bring more speakers than just, I got like one 1,500 watt speaker that I usually take and just plug it up and I just DJ all my gigs. But this one is so big, I'm probably going to have 3 speakers. Oh, wow. So that's 2 1,500 watts. And then I'll put one in the middle that's 1,000 watts. Yeah. And that's going to power the whole building. So the more equipment I take, the more I have to charge because that's more wear and tear on me.
Yes.
So she only wanted to pay $150. So, but before I told her my price, I said, hey, babe, I was adding it up. I say, the least, for me to move, because I'm going to bring lights. I come with a light show. I come with smoke machines. I come with everything. And I'm going to talk on the mic. I'm an all-around turn-up party DJ. So the most, especially the least that I would move is 500. And that's because she's in the city and, it's not that far away. So I was like, okay. So I told her my price, give me 200 down and 500, when I get there. And I was like, and I'm only doing this because she was referred by somebody else.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, I said, well, what was your budget? $150. Oh, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, because at the end of the day, I have to turn up and show out, whether it's 5 people there or whether it's 5,000.
Right.
So I'm not going to bring one speaker, let you pay me what I feel like $150 to get you. I just rather not DJ your event.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to downgrade, and then they saying, oh, his music wasn't loud enough and he only had one less speaker up there, good, because I'm only going to bring what you pay me to bring.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day, I'm representing myself. So I find myself going to her when I'm trying to figure out my prices. And then she said, just like my mom had said, she brought that back up. She said, your price is your price.
That's right.
Stop lowering and dumbing down your prices to accommodate these people. Everybody can't afford a Lexus. Everybody's not driving a Tesla. So if they have to deal with a Toyota or let them use that vehicle, at least they got them a vehicle. They're just not riding in luxury.
Right.
And so I was like, baby, I'm sorry, I can't do that for $150, and then, she didn't even want to do $250. So I was like, no, it's no way. And that's why I broke it down, 200 now and 300 the night of the show. So that gives you, and the party is in August. So that gives you plenty of time to put 50 here, 25 there, 50 there, or if it's 5 of y'all going in, get $50 from everybody in the party. But they don't do that. They just figure like they just give you a nickel a dime, baby. I can't DJ nothing for $150. I am so sorry, And so I told her, well, next time you guys have something and I'm in your budget, But she had seen a video of mine that was on Facebook. I think the little video I posted of the graduation party I did when I was like from the 360 booth, and I was filming the people dancing, and she seen that and was like, hey, you're a great DJ, I want you at my party, I like the way you was keeping it, but baby, that costs. And I was really insulted. $150 is your DJ budget.
Yeah.
No, man. But yeah, so I do find myself asking her now, baby, do you think I charge too much, or should I have accepted $150 just to, and it wasn't worth it. Now, if she was someone who I can get residuals from, I still wouldn't have done it for $150. I probably would have did $250. 300 would have been my max. I would have said, okay, I'll do it for you for $300 because I can get residuals from it. But if you just throwing a regular little old party and it's family and you don't know how many people are going to be there, I can't just do that. Now, if you, I'm with Aerostar Records and I'm doing a CD release party and I'm looking for a DJ. Hey, okay, just give me 300, 150 down, or 100 down, and give me, 200 when I get there.
Come back on that.
Yeah, 150 down, give me 200 when I get there. 350. Yeah, I got you. But yeah,
now,
so
you got relationship currency. So
right, and so I do find myself going to mine asking questions now, which I never thought I'd do. So yeah, the opinion does matter now.
Right.
And so we're about to close it out because I want to leave at 11:30. But peep this one out. If I was to date black, if I was to date white, this guy here sums up the way I would do it, because I feel like dating a ghetto white person, you might as well just stay in your, in your area. But he hit my thoughts on the head. Peep this.
When I see black dudes with white women, they don't bother me, man. This is my only thing, fam. If you're gonna be with a white girl, I need you to be with an authentic white girl. A real white girl. I don't like when I see black dudes dating white women who act black. I'd be like, just get a black girl. Why are you messing around with this off-brand generic white woman? If you gonna go on. Why you got this great value white woman? If you gonna go all the way. If you see me with a white girl, I'm going all the way to Mayberry. I'm not messing around. I'm going to get the whitest woman. I want all the white stuff I heard about. I'm going to get me a gluten-free, flip-flops in the rain, pumpkin spice latte, kiss puppies in the mouth. Let her dog sleep in the bed with her. Put her feet on the dashboard on car rides. Make her own trail mix. I'm going to get all... I'm going all the way. I want no white girl talking black to me. Babe, on my mama. Yo, mama? No, you have a mother. Like, I want the English to be correct. That's what... If I go, I want to be the first black dude she ever seen in person.
So if I was to...
If you want to go all the way. Go all the way, right?
I can't take that. I mean, you know, and well, when that guy posted what's his name when the guy said he don't respect people who date outside their race. Okay. I put under there date who brings you peace. And a lot of the women like that, but then you had a lot of the guys, pro-black guys that's sitting under there, because I was like a damn fool. Because at first I put on there that the statement was a damn fool. Date who brings you peace. You know what I'm saying? Whoever brings you peace. They was like, nah, you shouldn't date outside your race for what? And that's disrespect to the culture. And you know, and so it's like a lot of Gen X, they speak to just speak. You know what I'm saying? They seem like they just angry. And my thing
Have you ever heard Dr. Umar though talk about that?
Oh yeah. And I've had one of his videos. And then he's wrong, because he was saying that the white woman would date the black man because at the end of the day, she know she's gonna win. You know, she's gonna take all his money, this and that. Hell, black women doing that too.
Yeah, that's
you know. So his points are not the same, because we've seen a black woman drain the hell out of a black man. Absolutely. So his points to me is not valid. But yeah, he is seriously against that 100%.
I know. Yeah, I watch a lot of his content and all that.
Yeah.
Some things I agree with Dr. Umar. Some things I think he's too extreme on and all that, because it's like, because I understand, again, I love my culture. I love my black people, right? And all that. And that's all shapes, sizes, attitudes, all that, because that's who we are and all that. He has some points where he's talking about, you know, the togetherness that we need to have and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't go as far for myself to say, okay, well, I don't support your own decision, because you're making your own decision. And it's based upon your own experiences and all that kind of stuff. I see all the disenfranchisement. I see all the systemic things. I see all the ways that we have been put in position to be the way that we are. And those things still need to be corrected. But in the meantime, while we're trying to figure that out, people need to be able to freely love and be with who treats them well, because that's also a part of the healing process. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of it. To that relationship can be healing, just like relationships can hurt. A relationship can be healing to you, you know. And so if somebody outside of my race is the person that is offering that safe space and that healing space, then I have a right to be treated well. I have a right to be heard. I have a right to be understood. I have a right to be respected, you know. And so I don't think there should be a boundary on that with regard to race and ethnicity or color.
And the key thing that you said, and I don't know, and like you guys, and you especially broke it down to me. Every female is not going to be Chanel. They're not going to have her mentality. They're not going to have her strengths, and everybody's not going to be me. you know, and that was my problem really up until, well, Phantom started bringing it in, but I joined here to hear someone else saying what he's been screaming for so long. Everybody don't think like me because our upbringings make us who we are. Your reality when you woke up and noticed that all the hatred stuff that your mother was saying, when you actually looked in the mirror and say, "Hey, I am nice looking. I am beautiful. Right. Yeah. I embrace my thickness." When you started doing that, that made you a stronger person. So my thing is, when I done that and overcame a lot, I felt like anybody and everybody should be able to do that. Just like you did it, I did it. And when I see somebody who's not doing it, I had a problem with it. Man, you better get up. You need to do this. But like you explained to me, everybody just can't do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Need more support. Some people need more help. Some people can't do it even with support and help. Some people just stuck in their shit, you know, and you can't do nothing about that. You just gotta leave them where they at, you know, until they ready and all that stuff like that. So but we should all be being supportive to one another and as much as we can without self-harm.
And see, the reason that you're able to say you love your black men, you love your culture, you love this, because you know what you're going to tolerate, you know what your boundaries are, you're comfortable in your own skin. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and you know to go on to the next black man. If that's not going to work, I'm going to go to the next black man. Just because he act like this and his mentality and his character is like this, that don't mean every black man is like this. And you understand that. I understand that. But when I talk to like the Phantoms and a lot of other ones, they have these black women in a bucket.
Yeah.
And this is who they are. I'm like, no, man, they are good women out there. You're approaching the wrong ones.
Right.
And like I say, and I take a lot of pictures and I do different videos and I send them to him and be like, this is who gonna ask you for money. This is who gonna probably ask you about your day. You got to stop going after the glamour and find somebody. If you're a settled person, find you somebody that look like they're settled and make conversation with them. Stop going. I know that the weave, the lashes, the eyebrows done, the ombre and white nails. I understand that looks good. The BBLs look good. I don't want no woman with no BBL. And now when I see women with the slim waist and all that then got the work done, that's a freaking turnoff to me. That's the last thing. It doesn't impress. And what they're not understanding is what turns a man's head is not what he wants every night in his bed. That you're temporary. They don't understand that. That's a temporary for the moment. And that's why the body counts are so high. That's why they're so single and they're happy and in love for about 3 weeks to 3 months. And then a sad face on to the next. Yeah, because it looked good. But when men looking to settle down, it's all about how they're treated, the respect. You know, he's not really looking for that. And that's why I was saying a while ago, and it's coming true today, beauty now is overrated because I kept saying my famous phrase, I need to put it on a shirt. Yes. You can find a pretty bitch on any corner. And I've been saying that since I started podcasting because they out there now. Yeah. They're out there. When you were coming up, Chanel, and even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a beautiful woman was rare. In your town, you knew all the top 10 beautiful women in that city. Oh, yeah, she is nice looking. And you knew everyone. They were winning the pageants. Everybody, you know, they was doing their thing. Now a person can look at you, like your features, save up a little 10,000, and get on a payment plan and get a lip done like
Thank you.
yours,
You
get
can
a
get all
cheek.
that on a payment plan. You sure can.
Yeah. And it's so when something and I always preach the law of scarcity. And I bring it to when we used to do the family reunions and family gatherings in the park. And they get those cheap sodas, then they have the Cokes, the real Cokes, and they have the real Sprites and the real Sunkist drinks, but they have the big reds and the Fagos and all them. And then root beers. They used to keep them nasty ass root beers. And the fact that it was plenty of them, we would drink a can and then get on the merry-go-round, put that can down and go. Didn't even drink but 2 sips out of it, put the can down and run over and you get on the merry-go-round and you do your thing. It's because it's plentiful. You didn't care about it. But the Sprites and the Cokes and the Dr. Peppers and the Sunkist were rare, and the most of the grown people were drinking those. You thirst for those because they were rare. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how it comes with the women. Now that it's a pretty woman on every corner, a lot of men ain't even feeling it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you ain't doing this for me. You ain't doing this for me. You're doing this for yourself, not for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you marry, just like I brought up on one of our podcasts a while ago, this woman was heavy set, kind of thick, big bone. And she was working, in a factory type deal, say like Amazon or something, a little warehouse. And she paid with her income tax to get nipped and cut to get the BBL. She got slim waist and, and all that. She tucked the butt and, and did everything. And the man left her. The husband divorced her and all that. And then everybody asked him, why did you divorce? He said, because that's not who I married.
Right.
He liked her being who she was.
Just the way
so when she went, you don't like my slim waist and this and that, and I got my butt done and that, you don't like that? He was like, no, because that's not who I married.
Right.
But she let the people on the job, that was doing this, talked her into doing that, and he divorced her. Because when you marry that person, you're marrying that person for who they are as a person. That's how you should anyway. And that's why I preach. Beauty gonna fade. You can lose your job. Your sex drive can be up and down because you got hormones, you got fibroids, you got so much that can go on. Stress within a man, prostate, whatever. So your sex drive can get messed up. High blood pressure, because I know a lot of them that's taking them high blood pressure pills, they lose their sex drive. So if you are dating for physical reasons, it's not gonna work anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be a happy camper. And that's why a lot of them just feels like if I just date outside my race,
then it's going to fix
that maybe I can be happy. Maybe I can find true love. No, you have to, number one, be comfortable with yourself. And that's why you're able to say, I love my black men and I'm going to stay black with my black men, because you understand your boundaries. As you taught me, I have boundaries now. It's not that I'm just not tolerating. No, I have boundaries. So I'm going to let you be your grown person.
Right.
Because and that's what I be trying to explain to Phantom. You can be your grown person, but I'm going to have my boundaries on what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. And if you can't stay within my bounds, it's okay for us to agree not to agree to disagree, and you do your thing and I do mine. We just wasn't that fit, and that's okay. That's okay. See, you have your boundaries, I have mine, so we able to say, well, we just gonna stay dating who we're dating. But when you've been crushed and you really don't know how to stand on your boundaries because you want this person so bad,
over compromising.
There you go.
Overcome.
There you go. But it's give and take. And that's what I was explaining to a lot of people. They want things to be one way, one-sided. Oh, if she do this, I can't be with her. If he do that, I can't be with him. If he do this, he can't do that. But that's the things that you're naming is stuff that grown people are allowed to do. I say that's why Mom may went to Church of God in Christ. Dad may went to Missionary Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Because they're grown and they're able to make that decision, but they love each other and they have enough compatibility that they were able to stay together and respect each other's differences.
That's it.
Yeah. Like if I don't drink, and let's just say the wife wants to been had a tough day at work or going through something, death in the family or whatever, and she gets a daiquiri on the way home and she wants to sit and drink a daiquiri or make her drink. Just because I don't drink, I have no problem with her getting that daiquiri because she's not getting drunk and pissy drunk and acting different. You know, she just relaxed.
Trying to influence you to drink, knowing you don't drink.
Yeah, she's just relaxing. And it's not bothering anything. Just like if I don't, when I was 5%, and I still don't eat pork today, but if I'm dating somebody, and let's just say you like pork chops, you just got to have you some pork chops, rice and gravy, and some green beans. You know, that's your meal. I'm like, so instead of me saying I'm not going to date you because you eat pork and I don't eat pork, what I would do, you're going to make your pork, but you're going to also make my steak.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So you eat your pork, you say, and while you're doing that,
your mate, that shouldn't be no problem.
It should be no problem. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna educate you on why I don't.
Why you don't eat pork? Thank you.
And then you may like what I'm saying. You might say, okay, that do make sense. If you put it out there in the sun and you see the maggots come out of it, you might say, okay, and this is what's in your body and it's eating your intestines and da because it don't digest. And I explain all that to you.
Yes.
You'll eventually, because that's what happened, stop eating pork. We don't eat pork here. But she came from the country where grandmama and them eat the rooter to the tutor of the pig.
Absolutely.
But now she don't eat pork. She hadn't eaten pork in over 7-8 years. We're actually, we've been together 12. She hadn't eaten pork in damn near 11 years. So it's like, but for me to say, I can't be with you because you eat pork. I can't be with you because you drink a daiquiri every now and then, and I don't. I can't be with you because you like company and I don't. At the end of the day, you got to let people be people.
Be themselves.
And just set your boundaries. Those weren't deal breakers.
Yeah.
Deal breaker is coming home sloppy drunk and not knowing where you've been and you've been with your friends and I don't know what Lord knows what you've been doing and where you've been. That's a deal breaker. But coming home and saying, hey, make us a drink because I keep a little stash of alcohol down there for the for company when they come back. So if she say, hey, baby, fix us a daiquiri or something, I go in there, get the ice, get the sweet and sour and the daiquiri mix and and I make a nice little drink and we just sip on the daiquiri. Man, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. We just relax. So I can't say, well, you want a daiquiri made and I don't want alcohol in my house, so we can't be together. You know, people at the end of the day, they're grown. So like you say, people gonna be people. You gotta and you gotta respect each other. You feel what I'm saying? And so when it comes to dating, my thing is find somebody who respects you, who you can build with, and race shouldn't play an issue. Like you say, you love your black people. However, you're not shutting down being open in the event something did happen. If you and your black man didn't work and you tried it again and then another guy just happened to step up that happens to be another race and he's making you feel comfortable, making you feel secure, and you guys decide to try it, go out on a date and he's this and that. You're not against it. You just prefer a black man. And that's that. And after my
even if that was to happen, then my deal breakers start to adjust themselves too, because in an interracial relationship, I'm gonna have different boundaries. I'm gonna have some different boundaries. You can't use the N-word. Sorry, you know what I'm
saying? Right. And he can't call while y'all talking. He probably can't say black bitch.
No, not at all.
And the first time you hear that, that's over.
That's a wrap.
I don't care how long y'all been dating.
Right.
Yeah. And from my nightmare, I don't think I could, it'll be rough for me to do because especially now. And that was in the 90s. That was in the 90s. It's way 4 times worse now. And they'll see us together. And then if you in a small city, and they know you guys are an item, the cops see y'all together. They see you in restaurants. They see her driving the car when you're not in it, and they know the car. They really start picking on you now because they don't really want you with their women no way.
That's right.
And this is another issue, and then we're gonna close it. This is what got me. The wife went into a little corner store, and the Asians, the little Arab dudes, worked there. So when she walked in there, they like, oh, hey, beautiful, you this, you that, hey, beautiful, you look good, you da. I'll put you up with a biscuit, all that little crazy stuff. And so she said, hold up now, y'all gonna make me go to another store. I'm just in here to get this and that. Right. And I stop by here, I come in here all the time just to get, whatever I get on the way home. And if you keep talking like that, I'm gonna have to leave. No, I'm just saying, I just wanted to let you know that you're beautiful. She said, yes, and I'm happily married. She showed the ring. And she said, and I'm fine with in my relationship. Well, do he allow you to have friends? Do he allow you to have friends? I could be your friend. And she's like, nah, we're not gonna do that because I'm not gonna disrespect my marriage. And the point that got me is, if I look at one of their women, they ready to kill me, number one, and disown her. You see what I'm saying? But they'll screw our black women. They'll they'll do us like that.
Still the disrespect then.
Yeah. And I was like, that was my issue. And I told her, that's my whole issue with it, is the fact that they don't want us looking at their women, but they'll try to beg ours to talk to them, And so that was like, nah. And that got me, that pissed me all the way off. I was ready to go up there and tear the roof down just because of the fact that they wouldn't want us speaking to theirs. They got her covered all up, and and if we say hey to her and she speak back, it's a problem. But yet they'll try to convince ours, knowing you married. Can we be friends? Can I just be your friend? Do he allow you to have friends? And I'm like, I need to see these dudes. I ain't seen them yet. This happened about a month ago. But I want to go in the store just to see these little clowns. But yeah, it's the principle. And I'm like, y'all don't know me.
Yeah.
I ain't from here. I'll come in here and get your head and move around with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the races is just different. The different races. And we look at what we think beautiful, but like the lady said on one of the videos, it's a lot comes with that. If you're not prepared for it, it's a lot that comes with that.
That's the dynamics change.
Yeah. And with that being said, we getting ready to dock ship. We got another, I think, when it's next week. It's next week the 3rd. I'm gonna do the I do the hip hop on the 3rd. And then we're gonna do the pimpin' simpin'. So we'll be working closely on that, probably starting to, if not tomorrow, definitely Friday. So I know I got something in the email that I in the inbox I hadn't looked at yet. So I'm gonna start looking at everything Friday morning. So I do that on Fridays, and then by Sunday I want some type of flyers or whatever out. And I was telling George that the person that be doing your flyers can probably line up the PIMP and put what the words mean. Yeah, because I say I could do it, but I say Chanel has her content people. So get them to set it up, send it to me. I'm gonna brainstorm and put everything together and see what we come up with.
Right,
but that'll be in 2 weeks. We're doing that. Next week I'm gonna break down. I'm so sick of this. And I know you know a little bit about hip hop, Chanel. I'm so sick of these people with this Drake and Kendrick thing.
Yep,
because They shouldn't have, and you know hip hop. You came from Big Daddy Kane and LL. Yep. Drake and Kendrick had no business battling no way because they two totally different style of rappers.
Yeah, they are totally different style.
And like I say, it's like you putting MC Hammer up against Redman. Of course, we know lyrically Redman gonna beat MC Hammer, but MC Hammer sold more records than Redman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the Generation X don't understand it, and they get too personal. They going off of everything that this generation here. Anything anybody say, they jump on and believe. They gonna run with it. We wasn't like that. We just heard music and rap for what it was. We laughed at it and we moved on. We didn't say, "Ooh, let me go Google and let me go Google and see what he really on crack." You know, when MC Shan, when KRS-One told MC Shan, instead of trying to battle LL, you need to get your boys off the crack. We didn't run to see, which one of MC Shan boys on crack? Is it Big Daddy Kane? Is it Master Ace? Is it Biz Markie? We didn't do that. We just laughed.
If we had access, we might have tried it though. We didn't have the internet though, so we might have tried it if we had the internet.
Yeah. But man, they so serious. So my thing is, I'm just gonna break down to why that battle wasn't a good match. It's like Kendrick needed somebody like a Eminem, somebody like Papoose, somebody like even The Game, like I posted on my page, somebody like The Game. Those are the people who stands in ciphers and those are the ones that stands in the ciphers and battle people back and forth. So he needed somebody like that. You bragging on beating a Tootsie Slide, Hotline Bling, singing rapper, singing artist, top chart. Like, on everything. That what I wasn't impressed. I'm like,
not competition. There's no competition there.
No. And the only reason I think the only reason I think they matched those two was because Drake is the king of the charts and Kendrick is the king of the streets. So they say, okay, let's just put them together and make them battle. And then Drake bit the bait, you know what I'm saying? And I never did
it. But again, remember before we were talking about like when he was swinging his thing, anything to stay relevant too, though. Remember they try to stay relevant, so that was I think it's all publicity for relevance sake anyway, because we already.
And I think it was Jay-Z who said, "Diss me and you never get a reply for it." He shouldn't have said nothing because all he did was gave this dude life. If he wouldn't have even spoke on him, now the guy got his best hit ever, his number one. He's back relevant. All you had to do was not say nothing. But lyrically, and Carl Givens has said the same thing, and that's why I brought up Hammer. The guy right here, he said, when I was talking about it at first, he said, but Hammer wasn't about them lyrics. Hammer was number one and sold more records, but he didn't sell records because of lyrics. He sold records because he was an entertainer.
Very entertaining. Exactly.
He was an entertainer. And so he made a point. So that's what I'm gonna break down on the hip hop night, because I'm like, we gotta seriously look at what really happened, because that's like 20-year-old Tyson fighting this Jake Paul dude. I put all this on my post. That we already know Tyson gonna knock him out, and it's not fair. It's mismatch. Tyson needs somebody like George Foreman them who gonna step in the ring and go toe to toe and knock his ass out, and not no little white boy jumping around. A TikTok king turned boxer.
Right.
TikTok influencer turned boxer, and now all of a sudden here come Tyson at 20 years old and knock people out in 30 seconds. Gonna get in the ring with it. You can't get no strikes for that. So I'm gonna break that down, and hopefully that'll be my last segment on the Kendrick Drake thing. But these people, they so into the trolling and all that. I'm like, man, this stuff is much deeper than what y'all seeing out there. But with that being said, we about to dock the ship until next week, and then I'll be back on here next week, and then we're gonna do the pimping sipping with George and Chanel. We're gonna kind of break that down. So I need all the simps, the guys who have been simps, the guys who have been tricks, the guys who have been manipulated and all that from the women. I need you guys to step on here and let us know, what's going on, how you got into that. Are you still in it? Did you get out of it? It's just an open forum, and we just want to talk about it. It's happening, so we might as well speak on it. And with that being said, we are definitely about to get out of here. So how we get out of here, Janelle? We say what? Hey, till next week. We out, y'all.
What you thinking, man? I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is, mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it, because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person, or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is? Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men, because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even thought. Why doesn't my father like is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are. Like, absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is a rejection.
You see, like, what I understand with my father.
Men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after white was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman, no matter what their social economical status was. White women was the way to go, and so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James. I know. You hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.